Welcome to Chatting with the Experts, a podcast for immigrant women from Africa and the Caribbean who have relocated to the UK or the US or Canada or somewhere outside of their country. In this podcast, we talk about the struggles and we highlight the triumphs experienced while sharing resources and experiences that our fellow immigrant sisters can benefit from. Today, the show is a little different. So my guest today is a Caribbean sister, Corine La Font, who lives and works in Trinidad. Corine is a PR and communications consultant. She's a podcaster like me. She's a speaker, she's an author, and she's an online business coach. She's from Trinidad and Tobago, like I just said, which is in the Caribbean. And she has a passion for Latin dancing and anything that includes coconut, the coconut oil, the coconut milk, and coconut water. And she looks forward to wearing a coconut bra and grass skirt. You can check out what she offers at her website, which is https://lafontandassociates.com. Welcome to Chatting with the Experts, Corine. I am thrilled to have you here.
It's a pleasure to be here, Paula, and thank you for having me.
Absolutely. So I've said a bit about you through your bio, but there's some things that you can talk about yourself that wasn't mentioned in the bio. For example, where did you do your formal education? And okay, let's leave it at that first because I have another question after that.
Okay, so where did I do my formal education?
I want you to tell us about yourself and where you did your formal education.
Okay, thank you so much for that question. I mean, I love peace and quiet and stillness. I do a lot of meditation. I'm extremely spiritual as far as I consider it. And, a lot of people are asking me, how am I coping with the pandemic? I don't know. This is my life from a very long time. So pandemic or no pandemic, it doesn't matter to me. I've always lived a sort of isolated, secluded life. So it doesn't really hamper me, except to say that it's impacted my social life, my dancing, which you mentioned in my bio.
Mm-hmm.
So it impacted that, but it doesn't stop me from picking up some music, putting on YouTube, and just dancing up a storm by myself here. So, and in terms of my formal education started in Trinidad and Tobago, my first degree. And then when I migrated to Jamaica, which I think was in 1997, I think it was. In 2000, I did my in Jamaica at the University of the West Indies, and that's in human resource development. And while being in Jamaica, I transitioned into a number of things. I allowed myself to grow, to be who I am, learn more, and I ended up becoming an author, like you mentioned in my bio. I ended up writing for the major newspaper in Jamaica, the Jamaica Gleaner, and offering articles on publishing and marketing and writing, which have published several authors around the world, self-publish them, help them to edit their books, book covers, manuscript, ebook formatting, print, audiobook, Amazon, etc., and other book platforms, book publishing platforms, and I've helped them in terms of marketing as well. So I've transitioned all of that because in terms of podcasting, writing, editing, I've gotten now together into one basket called public relations and communication.
Okay. So you didn't migrate to the US. You migrated to Jamaica, right?
I did. I just crossed the Caribbean waters, yes. So I went to Jamaica, and most people will ask me, why did you go to Jamaica? And I simply say, for a man. There's no other reason, really. I don't think a Trinidadian will just pick up herself and just go. There are mainly two reasons why we will migrate over there, and it's normally either for school, because the university is also there, the University of the West Indies. So most of the time, you would find that we will go to study. Back in the day, we have medicine, the medical faculty here in Trinidad. So a lot of persons who wanted to pursue medical sciences had to go to Jamaica. But now that we have the facility here at Mount Hope Complex, where we train doctors and prepare them, to go out into the world, we don't necessarily anymore. So A lot of people back in the day used to go to Jamaica for medical sciences, and a lot of Jamaicans had to come across here for engineering, but that has evolved and matured now. So, you either go to study, and when they go to study in Jamaica, normally, because you spend 3 years there, you stay, you get a job, you get an opportunity, and you stay, you might like the place, and you stay. Some come back home. And of course, being there, you're mixing with people from all over the world. You end up meeting probably the love of your life, your mate, your partner, and staying or living with. So it's one of two things, either through study or you meet someone. And it so happened that while studying here in Trinidad with my first degree, my partner was here in Trinidad doing engineering at the time. We met because we lived on campus, and that's how the little spark happened. And of course, as you graduate, you're looking at your life and what needs to happen. And we had a son after long after graduation, 2000, sorry, 1995, because I graduated in 1992, and my first degree that is. And so I'm looking at my life and settling down as a family and keeping the unit together. I decided to make a move across to Jamaica. But I'm back home and loving it, loving it and loving being back home. And it's such a timely thing because it happened before the pandemic. So I am quite happy about that.
Awesome. Okay. So you are a Caribbean, well, intra Caribbean immigrant.
That's right. That's right.
So tell us about how did it feel to, I mean, be in another country other than yours?
Oh, girl. To do these type of things. Not everybody is willing to step out of their comfort zone to do what they need to do. And migration is a serious decision.
Mhm,
Looking at leaving what you're used to behind and moving to something that you're not used
mhm,
to. So you're looking at risk, you're looking at learning, you're looking at being uncomfortable, you're looking at the food you're accustomed to, the people, the culture, the language. I mean, Jamaica speaks their own English language patois, and they are very aggressive, very forward type of people. The culture is totally different to that of Trinidad.
mhm,
But you it brought out things in me that was already there. I'm a very bold, very forward, I'm passionate. And so I just fell right in, and it helped to sharpen a lot of skills that that I had in me that needed to be sharpened, and it opened a lot of opportunities. The person that I am today of living in Jamaica for 21 years. So what I would say to anyone who's migrating, be open to it. You would learn a lot about yourself. You would learn, that you're not limited by anyone or anything unless you limit yourself by what you decide. And just open yourself, and learning a new culture is a good thing. Traveling, I always tell people traveling, even migrating to different countries, living in particular places for a certain amount of years, hopping and skipping an experience of the culture, exposes you to becoming a better person and appreciating mankind. It is very important to be compassionate, and compassion comes from actually witnessing and experiencing life in different countries with different people, different races, ethnicity, background, socio-economic background, just open yourself to that. You become a much more well-rounded person, and you cannot be taught that in a book. You could read it and live vicariously through a book, but it's not the same as actually living it. Immersing yourself in it and living it. You become a better, more well-rounded person. Is in coming back to Trinidad because I came back ever so often, during those 21 years vacations to visit my family, etc. And I was always different growing up as a child. So coming back, you're different. But I've traveled other places, for work or for vacation, more likely for work. Your family find you different. People around you find you different because your thinking is now being shaped the way you. And it's not a matter of course, your accent is automatically going to be shaped. Some people still hear an accent in me. I don't hear it, but they do. And but it shapes your mind. It shapes your thoughts. It shapes your decisions. It shapes the mind processing, the way you process things. It may not be in keeping with what your kinfolk in your own country where you were born is used to. So you may come across some resistance from family, friends, etc. You may even lose some of them. So you have to be prepared, because you're different and different in a good way to you. You have to decide, you have to look at it and say, who do you want to be? Who are you comfortable with? Are you comfortable with the person that you are? Then, because you have to live with yourself, nobody else. You have to live with yourself. So once you could live with yourself, then you're good to go. It doesn't matter who falls off on the wayside or who comes off the elevator along the way on the journey of life. You just need to keep moving.
Great, great stories. Not story, but great tips. I
Thank you.
wondered if you could elaborate on one particular thing that empowered you to become the person you are, because you said when you got to Jamaica there were things that happened to you that brought out things in you that you didn't even know what, you weren't aware were there. You were always a bold person, you're always aggressive, you always was forward thinking, but it brought out something in, or some things in you. Is there any particular thing that you can put your finger on that you can say today has influenced you to be the person you are today?
I don't think it's any particular thing I can put my finger on. It's a combination of things. I think it's just generally the Jamaican environment, what it forces you to do.
Okay.
The life there is not as easy as Trinidad. We have a more laissez faire attitude. Whatever will be. Que sera, sera.
Mm-hmm.
But in Jamaica, it's you gotta go out there and make it. It's a fight. And I mean, for me, even the air is you energetically you feel it. It cannot be laissez faire, whatever will be, and you sense the difference in the different systems, caste systems or status quo. The rich make sure that they stay rich. You know, they end up probably just staying there
Mm-hmm.
because the rich is making sure that the poor remains poor or stay in a particular. So you have to fight. It's a constant fight. And if anybody understands the history of Jamaica, it was all you look back, it's more the Caribs that went there, which are more aggressive sort of people compared to the Arawaks coming to Trinidad, which is a more peaceful sort of people.
Mm-hmm.
Not that we didn't have Caribs here, but they were very few, and I don't think they managed to stay very long or lasted. It was more the and so Jamaica has a more aggressive goal, even the slavery kicked off, I believe, more with Jamaica. The labor, King Sugar, Jamaica was known as King Sugar because there were sugar plantations there.
Mm-hmm.
More for indentured labor. After slavery, we had people being paid to work, and more Indians came here, that type of thing, to work, the Indians and the Chinese, which is really what the kind of landscape and that still remains in the society. It's a fight to survive. It's difficult to achieve things that you want to achieve. It's a fight. And when I say a fight, it's not like you physically fight with somebody, although sometimes it may resort to that depending on who and what the circumstances.
Mm-hmm.
But you're just waking up every day, planning, strategizing, how to get this, how to make it, what to do. It's like a constant running up and down, trying to get your children. Some of them get their children out of the country to get to the US to make it. If they get one person out, that person will be able to help the others send money back, that type of thing.
Right.
So the system
It's different.
is just different. And I'm not saying it to pull down Jamaica or Jamaicans. It's just different. And you asked me what was it that made, pull out things out of me. You walk into a society that has that sort of underlying culture and you realize to fight for whatever because nobody's going to take you on if you're sip sappy. If I could call it that, if you're just laid back, they're going to walk over you. They'll be like, really? You clearly don't want whatever that is in front of you bad enough. But I in the line back it more than you, so I am just going to push you aside or step on you to get there.
Mm.
So, so you can't be passive. You can't be passive in a society like that because people will sense it, see it, smell it, feel it, and they are going to take
Got you.
and you can't have that. And I'm not trying to make it seem as if everybody is fighting with swords and irons and shields. No, it is not that. It's just that it brings out a part of you that if something in life, you have to go and get it. You can't be lying down sleeping, thinking, well, it will come to me. Somebody will bring it, knock on the door, and it will come to me. No, you have to, you have to go out there and get it.
So you eat what you kill, in other words. You got to go find it. You got to hunt for it. You got to
But yes,
desire it. And
yes,
if you desire it,
yes,
go get it.
yes, yes. Go get it. Go
Got
get it.
it. Got it.
Right? And let nothing stop you. And yes, there may be hurdles in the way. You work around those hurdles, but you go get it.
Got you.
You go get it. And it's a good quality.
Yes.
I'm not making it out to be bad. It's a good quality. It's determination. It's strong will. It's spirit. And Jamaicans are resilient
Very.
people. So you put them in any situation and they are going to survive.
Yes.
They are going to survive.
Yeah.
and, and you have to have that in the world.
That's so true.
You just have to have that in the world. So even we as Trinidadians will be laid back and whatever. If you put a combination of Trinidadians with Jamaicans, and Trinidadians might say, well, let's wait it out, or let's see and let's talk about it. Jamaicans will be like, really? They already while you are there trying to talk, let's try. No, Jamaicans already decide this is what's going to happen. Get up, let's go. You know?
While the Trini is sitting down there, as you say, debating the pros and cons.
Yeah, yeah, let's talk about it. Jamaicans they wouldn't, by the time you're saying that, that's smoke in the back. They're already up in front.
Wow.
Yeah, and they're willing, if there are people who will be sacrificed, as a result, yeah, make it
I
happen.
got
Yeah.
it. I got it.
They have a different mentality, which I think a lot of people need to adopt. Of course, in a very safe
Mhm.
way, considering other people, because I'm not saying to anyone who may be listening to this that to just go after what you want and be like a crab in a barrel and treat people anyway on the way to where you want to go. Be very careful in what you're doing. And once what you're doing is not impacting anyone, then you go ahead. But consider all the angles, the 360 approach, before you go and do anything. But of course, keep your vision in mind. Don't let anything stop you. But at the same time, don't destroy other people on the way to get where you.
Got you. I love that. I love that. Go get what you need to get without destroying other people. Because
That's right.
looking over your bio, where you are described or where you are a public relations consultant, you're a podcaster, you're a speaker, you're an author, a publisher, a business coach. Do you think that some of those things came about because of, your association with, or because you lived in Jamaica and as you said, you had to survive?
Yeah,
A
go get
go-getter
them.
society.
Yes. Yeah. Well, the majority of my life, that's like almost spending like half of my life in Jamaica, 21
Hmm.
years. Of course, that had a major influence on me because I went there in my early 20s, not really exposed to the world.
Right.
So it did influence me. And just opening my eyes to what is and learning from people and yeah, and growing. So yes, it did influence everything that has culminated into, and I'm very thankful. I regret nothing. I have worked with, in Jamaica, I've worked with dignitaries, ministers, prime ministers, diplomats. Those are the type of people I was around. So I've always been around top persons, and I think in society, and it's the same thing. I've done network of persons that I can always call on, reach out to, and it's the same thing since I came back. Working with persons who are like, or even prime ministers' wives and that type of thing, and yeah. So I've tend to work in that area, and so the protocol and ethics that comes with public relations fit into all that because I had to deal with that in terms of ministers of government and prime ministers and dignitaries like high commissioners and things like that. So it just worked. Everything just culminated,
Okay.
into what I'm doing
So
today.
I don't know if this is a Trinidadian saying, but I know this word. I used to hear my mom use it. So, so it's like the whole shebang.
The whole shebang. I still say
All
that too.
right.
The whole shebang. I still say it.
I wasn't sure where I picked that up along my journey. Okay. So, a question I love to ask my guests is that do you consider yourself a success? I mean, just looking at all the things that you do, I'll read it again to whoever probably just came in the room and heard this podcast being broadcasted there. Corine is a public relations consultant. She's a podcaster, speaker. She's an author. She's a publisher, and she's a business coach. Do you consider yourself a success, Corine?
Yes, I do, but it's not because of all the accolades that you just
Uh-huh.
mentioned. I am successful.
Mm-hmm.
Am I comfortable? It comes back to if you're comfortable with yourself. Because the thing about it, Paula, is if all of those things were taken away from me, all those things were stripped from me, podcaster, speaker, author, PR consultant, if all stripped of me, would I be nobody? No, at least not for me. I am still someone and I still stand very solid. I thank God for that because I couldn't do any of this without God.
Mm-hmm.
So I am very thankful to be comfortable with me when I look myself in the mirror, when I wake up every morning by the grace of God, and when I go to bed. I don't have to worry about who I destroyed. Did I do this to this person? I can sleep quite peacefully and well at
Mm-hmm.
night, full in the morning, and go to bed thankful in the night. And I don't walk around with labels all over me, podcaster, PR consultant. I don't. I don't even tell people all these things. It's only because I'm on your podcast or when I do interviews, people will learn these things every day. I don't project myself that way on people. I just like people to know me as Corine because Corine is who I am. And I will always be with or without those things. So to answer the question about whether I'm very successful, extremely successful because I'm quite comfortable with me and I am happy to be who I am today. I am happy to have had all the experiences and I'm happy to have great challenges or otherwise to learn, to grow, and to be a better person.
Fantastic. Corinne, I like that. I haven't heard too many people say they're a success just because they are who they are. I really do like that because it shows self confidence and it also shows an ability to know that, these things, accolades, these degrees, these titles can all be stripped away, but who you'll be left with is yourself. So that's a
That's right.
fantastic answer. And I'd love to hear a lot more people say that. I am a
Yeah.
success because I am who I am. Great.
It takes a while, Paula. It takes a certain level of awareness for somebody to get to that. A lot of people still attach themselves. I'm doctor this, I'm professor that, I'm married, I'm Mrs.
Mm-hmm.
If you don't call them Mrs., it's like wow, they're nobody.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
Mm-hmm.
if they don't have that ring, they just identify with more and more things. So they add on stuff. I'm teacher, I am daughter, I am this, but stripped of all of that, which we are at some point in
Mm-hmm.
time. What are you? Who are you?
Mm-hmm.
It requires a level of stripping of your ego because it is all ego that keeps adding those level of labels on. Identify yourself by these labels. If you have to understand that the ego is a part of you, it lives with you, it exists with you, but you have to tame that and realize who you really are. Are you the ego? I'm not my ego. I the ego, yes, I'm not my ego. And so I am not, even though I'm in PR and communications, which is more limelight, media, clickety clack, paparazzi out in the face or whatever. I really don't like that. I don't mind being in the background doing what I have to do on TV and radio, which I've done several times. It's not a problem, but it's not something I wake up every day just looking forward to do. No, I do it because it's a part of my job, is what I have to do. But I avoid it as much as possible. I do it. So, it's some people are fed. They feed their ego by, oh, I'm on TV. Did you see me? Did you this? Did you hear me? Did you whatever? Did you see my picture? Ooh, ooh, ooh. No, I don't take pictures. I don't like pictures. I don't like the whole self thing. I make sure that I take care of my body, my health, my mind, body, spirit. I make sure I take care of it. But I'm not one for being out there. I do what I have to do. After I've done it, I receive right back. Some people might think I'm, what do you call it, introverted. I am either one. What do you call it?
Ambivert.
I'm But yes,
Yes.
where I will fit extroverted and when I need to, I will fit in like a neutral. Whatever that needs to happen, I do it. But people need to check their egos, and you will not get to a place of realizing that you are successful with or without these labels until you check that ego.
I totally relate with that because I don't like public. This surprises people. I don't like being in the public limelight. I don't really like social media. I only do social media because I need to do it. Other than that, I
Mm-hmm.
don't really like it. But I also know I have a call in that I have a message,
Yeah.
and so I want that message out there. Especially, I live in the States. My message is, as I said, to immigrant women to say you have a voice. Podcasting has helped me with my voice. I did not like speaking in public. So because of
Mm-hmm.
my message, I've had a few people come to me and say, "Oh, man, Paula, if you do this, I can do it too." It has given them confidence. And that makes me
That's
know
right.
that, all right, I need to keep doing what I'm doing. So I relate to what you said.
Right. Yeah, yeah, and it's the same thing with me. We have a purpose, and I think once we finding what that purpose is and our purpose is and aligning ourselves with the creator, God, divine, whatever people, if they're aligned spiritually, once you're aligned with that, you get to know your purpose may change and evolve as you go along, and learning, when you're finding yourself. And once you know what it is, then you don't worry about these labels and stuff like that. You know that you are here for a reason and you're impacting people whichever way, and you just celebrate that each
So
time.
true. So true.
Mhm.
So we're getting ready to wrap up. Where can my listeners find you online or even offline?
If persons are trying to reach me, the best and quickest way is through my website, which you mentioned earlier, and I'm sure you will share it otherwise. So it's lafontassociates.com, spelled out LAF as in father, LAFONTAND associates. Once you go there, all my social links are there. My podcast is also there. There is information that I share with persons in terms of PR. I educate people in terms of PR as well on there. My services in terms of my public services are there. There are packages that people can select that best suits their budget and their pocket. And there is a contact us page. From the time you go to the website, there's a little box that opens up that you can feel free to send me, come directly to me, and I'm extremely, extremely responsive when it comes to emails and people contacting me. My numbers are also visible on the site when you go on my site. I have my Trinidad number and my US number, preferably the US number to you. If you don't get me, sorry, on the Trinidad number, you will definitely be able to leave a message on the US number and I will call you back. There are people who are still reaching out to me, even though I'm not writing for the Jamaica Gleaner anymore because I was doing that for 6 who still find my articles. Just Google whatever search they may be doing, and my name comes up, and they reach out to me, and I respond. And I think they're pretty shocked and surprised that I do respond, even though they are looking forward to a response. But I think they're pretty shocked. Yeah, that I respond, that a human actually respond, that I actually respond personally. You know,
That's awesome, especially in this
so
day and age
it,
with bots and automated
yeah,
replies, etc. Yes,
yeah.
awesome.
Nice. I like when people have a smile on their face, and they actually see me respond. They might send me the email now and I respond right after and be like, whoa, I'm really impressed. I'm like, yeah, well,
That's awesome. So, is there any question before we really wrap up? Is there any question that you would have liked me to ask that I haven't asked? Like, something that you really would like to
I
talk
think
about?
we kind of, no, I think we covered everything and I shared more than I should have, but that's okay. I want person, I want persons to be able to get to understand me a bit. And, should they be thinking about migrating, it's really a no-brainer. Just give it a go and think of it as an adventure. You're going out on a trip and you're just tasting things that you never tasted before, spitting it out if you don't like it. Doing crazy stuff, just testing your limits, being afraid of things that you were not afraid of and getting over those.
Hmm.
Just be you, just enjoy it. And who is there to laugh at you? Laugh at yourself first. Once you laugh at yourself first, nobody else could come and laugh at you.
So
Really.
true.
So
So,
yeah, so just enjoy it. Just enjoy it.
so true. So true. So that was Corine La Font. But for my listeners, if you have enjoyed what you just heard from no one other than Miss Corine La Font, please head over to Apple Podcast, Google Podcast, Spotify, or anywhere else that you may listen to your podcast and click subscribe. If you're an immigrant woman from the Caribbean or from Africa and you have found these stories interesting, please let us know in your reviews. And if you would like to be a guest on my show, Chatting with the Experts, head over to www.chattingwiththeexperts.com/contact us and let's chat. Thank you so much, Corine. This was